In today's video, I'm excited to introduce Wrap Technologies, which we can find on the Nasdaq under WRAP. And this talk is interesting because they are a company in the non-lethal public safety betting on counter drone boom. So they want to offer a non-lethal response for integrating tools, training, and policy in a complete legal response system that can reduce the use of force, injuries, and lawsuits. They have a 55% reduction in injuries with the WRAP NLR system. There are zero reported fatalities. That's a pretty big deal. And over 1,000 agencies have deployed their technology across 62 countries. That's a pretty big footprint. The important part here is that policing is hard and unpredictable. Verbal skills alone are not enough. De escalation is effective when it works, but it's not enough on its own. Officers need low risk, low force options when verbal communication fails. It's not just about the threat. Lethal outcomes may stem from the ineffectiveness of traditional lower force options that come before it. Policies are changing. Force is under high levels of scrutiny. Yes, I would agree, and especially with recent events and body cams, it's harder and harder for things to not be tracked. So the fact there are zero reported fatalities in over 62 countries, that's a pretty big deal. So when de-escalation fails, changing policies landscape, and there's a forced closed contact risk, we can look and see what their current product offering is to see how tools, training, and technology exclusively available through the WRAP system. Not just another tool, a system designed to help minimize risk. So they have their flagship product here, which is the tool, or the BolaWrap, which is a pain-free restraint, early intervention. They also have their WrapReality, which is the train the brain, build a response. They also got WrapTactics, which is a training and policy platform. So it looks like they're offering a full closed loop system. And then they also have WrapVision, which is their technology and policy. And then they have their R&D, which is the C-UAS DFRX, extending NLR beyond the officer. So that is a company at a high level. And now, if we look at the market opportunity, it's pretty big. Military spending surges in Europe and Asia, pushing world to levels not seen in 16 years. As you might have realized, there's a couple of conflicts happening right now. So global military spending surged by almost 3% in 2025, fueled largely by ballooning defense expenditures in Europe and Asia. And now, with NATO commitments increasing across the board, and like I said, some hot wars happening right now, countries are spending. And if they're in 62 countries and they have zero fatalities so far, maybe this could be part of the mix. Global military spending rises in Europe and Asia. So this is going to be a big number. We can see right now that world military expenditures reached almost $3 trillion in 2025, an increase of roughly 2.9% in real terms over 2024. Military spending has always been a really big number. And as of right now, it rose by 14% in Europe and 8.1% in Asia and Oceania. The top three military spenders, US, China, and Russia, well, those are all places that want the best technology. So they spent a combined total of basically $1.5 billion, or a 51% increase 51% of the global total, according to new data published by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. So it appears like it is a pretty big market opportunity, or the addressable market. So if now we look at Motorola Solutions to acquire Defense Solutions for a $1.5 billion deal earlier this month, Motorola Solutions announced today it has entered into a definitive agreement to acquire Defense Solutions, an Israeli counter-drone technology company, for $1.5 billion. So the transaction is expected to close in the fourth quarter of this year, subject to regulatory approvals. So we showed you the size of the market. It's pretty big. It's trillions of dollars. Defense has always been a really big line item on any country's balance sheet. And this specific area, which means counter defense, appears like there is interest. This is earlier in the month. That's a pretty big number. So now, if we have a look at the investor relations page, and I will leave a link for you in the description. The company has been pretty busy. We can see that in the month of May, they've had 1, 2, 3 news releases. So at the end of May, they told us that they're unveiling plans for drone-based non-lethal response payloads, incorporating directional light, laser dazzler, and sensory deterrence technology. They also have developing directional light scenarios and non-lethal response, or NLR, technologies for WrapReality, which is their VR training platform, and Wrap advanced education sector expansion with virtual reality training purchased from William Patterson University. So now looking specifically at their Q1 revenue of $1.1 million, $3.2 million in bookings, lands DHS contract as drone and counter UAS pre-orders accelerate. So the company looks like there's some traction right now. And the reason why I find this interesting is because they are basically a drone story where drones are everywhere right now. Airport shutdowns, there's military wars happening, like we talked about. There's military bases buzzed. There's wars in Ukraine and over in the Middle East, and an enormous wave of government money flowing into stopping them. It's basically this. Here's a small cap public safety company with a real recognizable product and genuine momentum, reaching into the boom with a non-lethal approach. If we look at their financial highlights for the first quarter of 2025, they have revenue increased by 45% to 1.1 million compared to 0.8 million in the previous year period. Bookings totaled $3.2 million in Q1 of 2026. So it looks like they have a backlog that's healthy, including approximately 1.1 million from domestic sales and 2.1 million from international sales, reflecting continued global demand for Warp's non-lethal response solutions. Product sales increased by almost 200% to 0.9 million compared to 0.3 in the previous year, driven by increased demand and international demand for the BolaWrap 150 product line. Wrap received a purchase order from BolaWrap Technologies for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Again, that's a pretty big deal, providing an early federal adoption milestone as the company advances its Wrap technology strategy across non-lethal response, drone, interdirection, and counter UAS markets. Gross profits also rose, and the gross margin was 62% compared to the previous period at 78%. Total operating expenses were 5.5, so it's a little bit higher than the previous year. And I believe they got some cash on hand here. So they recently did a raise, and we can see their cash and cash equivalents are resting here at $7.3 million as of the end of March. Business highlights. So they drove related technology expansions and pre-order sales. They also have the R&D and additional platforms going to market. So I showed you that earlier. And deepening existing customers with additional sales, which basically means upselling. That's good. Management summary right here, probably important for us to read. Customers are increasingly resonating with technologies centered around early intervention, threat detection, and safe response outcomes, which aligns with the operational philosophy behind Wrap's flagship BolaWrap platform. As public safety agencies continue seeking alternatives that can intervene earlier, reduce escalation risk, and integrate force governance considerations, the company believes demand may expand beyond traditional handheld tools towards integrated systems capable of supporting safe, autonomous, and semi-autonomous response models over time. The foregoing are forward-looking statements subject to risks and uncertainties described below in our cautionary note and forward-looking statements. So just like with anything in life, nothing is a guarantee. So I would encourage you to do your own due diligence and make sure you read the disclaimer for full disclosure details. But the story is basically this. There's a $2.9 trillion opportunity, and the sector is ripe for disruption. So that number we looked at before, right? $2.9 trillion. This seems like a pretty intuitive approach. So their product offering, which we looked at before, offers tools, training technology, policies, and R&D. Looks like it's the whole kit and caboodle. And we talked about their previous news releases, but let's look at this one here from May 28th, their most recent news release. Wrap unveils plans for drone-based non-lethal response payloads, incorporating directional light, laser dazzler, and sensory deterrence technology. So it looks like the company's spending a lot, as we looked at in their previous financial report, and that's likely because they're doing R&D in building out their pipeline. So when Homeland Security or other customers are coming and knocking at their door, they have to go spend money to make money, just like with anything in life. So they are initiating so the initial represents as a strategic expansion of Wrap's broader NLR platform and supports the company's long-term vision of integrating advanced sensory, restraint, and escalation management technologies in both human-operated and autonomous public safety systems. So this is a pretty important part of what the company's doing. And now, as we talked about before, we talked about their bookings. We're going to skip that one. Looking at the company here, it looks like the CEO is the founder, chairman, and CEO. That's Scott Cohen. And he's the principal financial officer and the principal accounting officer. So he's running more than one hat. He also appears like he's very, very invested here because I think he's been participating in the rounds. And more importantly, he's taking on a lot of roles here, which means that he is intricately related and aware of what the company's doing. So Scott founded Wrap in 2016 after developing a passion for helping law enforcement and the communities. They served due to years of admiring his brother's work in public safety. Scott has served in various capacities in Wraps since the company's inception and played an integral role in leading all rounds of Wrap's financing, totaling $90 million. If you look at the market cap right now, it's trading at 65. So there's been more money invested than what they've raised so far, which means that this is maybe a good opportunity. Scott has served, an entrepreneur at heart. Scott has worked with many fellow entrepreneurs and companies at all stages and sizes, both public and private, from initial idea to multi-billion-dollar company market capitalization, and structured hundreds of tailor-made deals to help companies grow through various scenarios. Scott founded and served as principal of Iroquois Capital Opportunity Fund, a closed-end private equity fund which focuses on investments in North America oil and gas. He also co-founded Iroquois Capital, a New York-based hedge fund which managed approximately $300 million under management and family of funds. Before that, he founded a merchant bank, which actively participated in structured investments in public companies. So I think he knows all about the space. Jared Novick is the president and chief operating officer. He's been with the company since 2024, and he also appears to have a pretty good background here. Before his tenure in public companies, Jared experienced success in 2 early-stage technology ventures, each culminating in notable exits. He co-founded and served as CEO of BitVoyant, a cybersecurity threat monitoring product and service provider for commercial enterprises, later acquired by cybersecurity unicorn BlueVoyant. Additionally, he founded and led Curved Skies, serving as CEO of a professional services firm catering to classified U.S. federal government customers in the aerospace and defense sectors. So his professional journey includes significant roles at the U.S. intelligence community civil servants and a contractor for special projects to the Office of the Secretary of Defense. Having those connections in the government specifically is likely helpful. In the early stages of his career, he trained as a NASA aircrew member. That's pretty cool. Operating high altitude technologies above 60,000 feet. And as you know, NASA is pretty difficult to get into. And then Jose Batista, he's the chief commercial officer. So Jose Batista joined also in 2024. He is in charge of product marketing and growth. And looks like he's worked with some of the most innovative brands, including Google, Nike, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, and Samsung. Jose drives Wrap's mission to advance public safety through groundbreaking technology. And he's also had some notable success on his own. And now they got a chief revenue officer. That's Joseph Cameron. And again, equally decorated. They got a chief commercial officer, which is Braden Frame, and Rodney Sherrod, who is the VP of training. So each one of the divisions we looked at earlier appears like there is someone heading up that group. And then finally, going to a news release here from March, it tells us that Wrap accelerates momentum, targeting 100% revenue growth in 2026. Company reports quarter and full year 2025 results. So those are pretty ambitious goals. And remember, nothing in life is a guarantee, but if you don't plan for success, don't be surprised when it doesn't happen. So Wrap accelerates momentum, as we talked about, by looking for 100% revenue growth. And you can see this is here from the Global Newswire. All right. So at a high level, that is Wrap Technologies, which one more time we can find on the Nasdaq under WRAP. And if you want to find out more, please click on the link in the description. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks so much.